Thanks for joining us for On Call for All Kids. This is our weekly segment at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, where we're talking to our experts about timely topics in pediatric healthcare. Dr. Joe Perno, he is one of our emergency medicine physicians. He joins us today because we're getting into summertime, we're out in the sun, so we want to talk about sunburns and sunscreen and the proper use.
Excellent. Yeah, it's very important as we head into this time of year.
Absolutely. We don't want to get sunburned. Well, let's first talk, are certain people at higher risk for getting sunburns?
They are. So fair-skinned people. I think most of us already know that fair-skinned people are the most at risk for a sunburn and then complications that can come down the road. However, everybody's at risk. Even dark-skinned people can get a sunburn. So we all need to be paying attention to it, especially if there's any history of moles in your family or skin cancer. It's really got to be tops on your mind.
Now, what about times of day going outdoors? Should we avoid certain times or just be more aware? And what about when it's sunny versus cloudy?
Yeah, so time of day, definitely high risk times from 10 a.m. about now in the day all the way to about 4 in the day. That's the hottest time of the day. That's when the sun's the most direct. If you need to be out, you got to use extra precautions there. If you can avoid those hours, that's always ideal. And the cloudy days are the days I think catch people off guard, right? You don't think about it. You're out there, you're like, oh, I don't feel hot, I'm not getting burned, but the UV rays are getting through and you could be just at risk on a cloudy day.
Okay, let's talk about sunscreen because there are so many choices. You got your spray brands, you got sticks, you got the lotions. So how do you really choose what is best for me and my family?
So your first probably screening test should be the age of the child. So under 6 months, we have some limitations. You don't want to use any of the chemicals, sunscreens that we could use out there. So you want to use more of a barrier. Number one, keep them in the shade. There's no reason why a 6-month-old needs to be sunbathing out there. So shade is number one. Barrier clothing, some light clothing that cover the arms and the legs is a good option. And then if they are going to be out in the sun, a barrier such as zinc oxide, which works immediately and has no chemicals, can be applied to the face, the nose, the ears, those types of regions, and really works very well.
How about those t-shirts or the long sleeve shirts that say, hey, this offers SPF or UV protection? Are those good?
Those are a good option. You know, anything that keeps a barrier between your skin and the sun is going to work well. And yes, some of them have nice high SPF factors, which means they're more protective. If you're not going to use those and you can use your traditional sunscreen, you got to be looking at your SPF factor. You got to be reapplying it. That's one of the things. Applying it 15 minutes before you go out into the sun, and then reapplying every hour to 2 hours, especially after swimming.
Okay, talking about applying, where exactly do we need to be applying the sunscreen?
Every skin exposed area, and then think about the areas that you always forget: the back of your neck, back of your knees. Get a friend to help you get your back.
Ears
too,
and
right? Nose, right? Those are the ones that you always regret at the end of the day, and everything is good, and then you got something that's burned and miserable, and it's uncomfortable, not to mention there are long-term risks with frequent sunburns. So you want to cover every area as much as you can, as frequently, and reapply. One of the tricks I find that people forget, you go to the beach, you think about it, right? You're putting it on. It's what I call the incidental sun exposure. You're out working in the yard, you're going to a Little League game, you're out in the sun just the same, you know? So you need to think about those other times when there are opportunities to use sunscreen.
Really good tip. Let's talk about SPF. So SPF of 30, does that provide twice the protection as, say, like an SPF 15? What do these SPFs mean?
I know, the numbers don't make a lot of sense. Yes, as you go higher in number, you get more protection, but no, it does not double. So you want to have a minimum of 15, which gives you about 93% protective. SPF of 30 will give you 97 protection. And if it's broad spectrum, you're protected against UV A and B rays, which are the harmful rays. So that's what you want to look for. You don't need to necessarily pay money for the SPF 50, SPF 100. You're not gaining that much. That being said, I don't want you using SPF 2, which is only about 50% protective.
Right,
so.
Okay, gotcha. So sunscreen myths, if I have dark skin or a tan, I don't need to worry about sunscreen. We kind of touched on this.
Yes, you do, right? Yeah, everybody needs to. It's really important to apply something all the time when you're having sun exposure.
And all sunscreens are the same, true or false?
Yeah, it's false, right? We just kind of talked about that. You really need to think about the age of the child, your use. Water resistant is another one I didn't mention, is a good option. You're always sweating here in Florida, so it's always a nice option to have a water resistant if you can, even if you're not directly swimming.
Okay, and then lotion, sprays, and sticks all work differently.
Right, so no, they don't. They all actually, it's all about the SPF, so the delivery mechanism doesn't matter. Sometimes I know when my kids were young, the spray was nice and easy, spin them around, just make sure you're coating everything appropriately. The sticks work great for the face, the nose, the ears, I find localized places, and the old school lotion works fine also. So whatever works for you and your family.
Yeah, those sticks are so easy. You're just like, stay still, let me get it on real quick. That's nice. Well, Dr. Perno, thank you so much for sharing all these tips about preventing sunburns and using sunscreen. sunscreen. And we want to thank you all for watching as well. If you have a topic you want us to cover with one of our physicians here at Johns Hopkins All Children's, just comment below on this video. And don't forget to check out our website. It's hopkinsallchildrens.org/newsroom. And we have all sorts of information there about pediatric healthcare that you can check out. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.